Hello there everyone. This is a video of my latest thrift store haul. Honestly, it's not quite as good as the last one, but it's almost as good. This is definitely one of my best ever. So to start with, I got this. Actually, new in the box, Panasonic KX-TG2343F. And I do fully expect this to have the display problem, but since I got a soldering T-tool in the mail, or soldering iron T-tool in the mail, it should be coming in about 2 weeks. Hopefully, if this has the display problem, I'll be able to fix it. Then next, we have this, which is actually a pretty rare find with the NWR Radio logo, and as you can see, it's in pretty much mint condition. It's a RadioShack 12249, and get this, it actually has the wall mounting bracket. I've always wanted one of these, and when I tested it in the store, it actually does not have distorted audio, which is incredible for one of these 249s. My current one that I already had does. So this is going to probably, not necessarily replace it, but going to be the one that I use more. Then, we've got this, which is a RadioShack 43-582 trimline telephone with a bell ringer inside. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And then we have, finally, my first ever Bell System telephone. It's a Western Electric Red Princess phone. And unfortunately, the phone line plug is kind of broken in the back here. But who knows, I might even be able to repair it if I open up the phone. But either way, I'm sure it would work perfectly. So let me grab the scissors so that I can cut the zip ties on these cords. And I think I'll begin with the new in-box Panasonic phone. Which honestly, there's something already really cool about this telephone. And that is the handset itself is much bigger than most Panasonic phones from this time. It's actually a decently sized handset. So we've got the headset jack, which for some reason looks kind of cloudy. Yeah, the rubber is pretty stiff on it. But it really looks to be unused. There's actually no screen protector on it, but it looks like it was just taken off. So all the buttons feel good. There's like absolutely no wear on here. Then we've got the battery and battery cover. And it's actually not sticky at all, the phone. Oddly sparkly, but there's no stickiness at all. Here's the battery, which is one of the classic Panasonic HHR-P104s. And it is, I think it's the nickel metal hydride, yeah it is. So there's a good chance that it wouldn't work. But I can always try it. It actually looks like the light ring is at the top of the antenna, which is kind of unusual. So I'll go ahead and put in the battery. And I guess this was supposed to be, oh no, that's what I just took the battery and battery cover out of. Right. And here's the belt clip. And the phone line cord. Actually, doesn't feel like it's that sticky, if at all. So that's good. Also, this phone is in kind of an unusual color. It's like a dark bluish gray, which is actually really cool. And here's the adapter. It's the model PQLV1, It outputs 9 volts at 500 milliamps, center negative. And looks like it's never been untied before. So I will go ahead and plug this in. Hopefully the cord will reach over to the place where I have the phone here. Yeah, it just barely reaches, so I'll move the camera in a minute. Then we have the base, which is actually huge. Wow. Alright, this is one cool looking telephone. And of course there's the bracket, the wall mounting, which also doubles as the desk mounting bracket. So let me go ahead and plug this in. Okay.
Answer off. Answer set. Set time.
This does have caller IQ. Now the handset is charging, and the screen immediately lit up with charge for 6 hours. So maybe there is a hope for no display problem and the battery to be working. And I see something else in here that looks... Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw this on the back of the box. It actually has a built-in shoulder rest, which is honestly something I've never seen before on Panasonic phones. This is really cool. So it attaches to the belt clip, and the handset can actually charge face down, especially that needs to be done with this on it. So that is really cool. And then lastly, we've got all the papers. And there's nothing else in here. Unusually, the quick start guide is one and the same as this important if your product is not working properly paper. And it feels extra thick. Oh, I see. It's because the whole thing is folding. That's actually the second. No, that is the first half. Okay. And then here are the manuals. And instructions for activating caller IQ. This is actually really cool. Quite a lot of terms and conditions. So here's a look at the Spanish informations. And then the actual manual, which is pretty thick. And this is all in English. It actually has 75 pages. Wow. And actually, let's see if this has... Wait, what was I going to look for? Oh yeah, let's see if this is a dual band phone. Looks like it is not. It's a 2.4 gigahertz phone. We're both transmitting from the base and the handset. It's got a pretty loud beeper. But the screen seems to be working so far. Alright, so next, while that's charging, let's take a look at the RadioShack 12249. I probably should take off the wall mounting bracket for this part of the video. Somehow it's kind of dirty back inside there. And it looks like it was made in September 1998. And there is no corrosion inside the battery compartment, which is always nice. The switch is actually set halfway in between single and multiple county mode. And let's turn the alert tone all the way down, since that also controls the keytones. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off so that I can plug it in and then turn it on in front of the camera. Alright, here we go. Let's raise the antenna.
Please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. At Cornelia, it was mostly sunny and 87, wind south at 5. At
That sounds like interference from the phone.
And 88, wind calm.
Possibly.
At Canyon,
I'm not sure.
it was sunny and 89, wind calm. Elsewhere across Georgia.
Wow, that's so cool. This thing sounds so cool. Oh, it sounds like KEC80's off the air again. They've been having a lot of trouble lately. Okay, so WXJ53 it is. Voice mode, no continuous backlight.
At Rome, it was sunny and 91, wind northeast at 7.
That's the channel 1.
It was sunny and 90, wind variable at 6.
Can I...
At Augusta, it was mostly sunny.
How do I change that?
Wind north at 7.
Huh.
At Macon,
Oh, okay. It looks like somebody might have programmed into the same code the frequency for channel 1 in kilohertz, which is kind of weird. Maybe that's actually a same code that I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's just channel 1.
At Asheville, it was mostly sunny and 86, wind northwest at
So this
12.
should let it go off for all counties.
At Greenville, Spartanburg, it was sunny and 89, wind north at 3.
Actually, let's see if
At
it's
Clemson,
if it has any more counties stored in there.
wind calm. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For this afternoon and tonight, no hazardous weather is expected.
Okay,
at
so
this
no,
time.
it doesn't look like there are.
And now the extended outlook. Friday through Wednesday, isolated to widely scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms will be possible Friday and Saturday in eastern Georgia and across the bulk of northern or central Georgia between Sunday and Wednesday. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from
All
the
right, there we
National
go.
Weather Service.
Everything works perfectly. It's a nice radio. It's you know, pretty basic, being the first same weather radio ever made. But it works, and this one should work really well. Ever since I recorded that first alert 4 years and 2 days ago, actually, on my grandparents' 12249. I've wanted one that has that same kind of non-distorted sound like they're supposed to have. But even though I managed to get one in, I think it was December 2022, and it was actually a Christmas gift from my grandmother, the same one who bought that one that I recorded at their house. That one has really distorted audio, and I've always kind of wanted another one that doesn't have distorted audio like that, and now I do. So that's awesome. Alright, next, let's move on to the RadioShack trim line. So we've got a phone cord. Unfortunately, it's got like the cord wrapped around itself, so it's going to be all twisted up like this, but it's okay. Looks like there's like a nick in the cord. Maybe I won't use this one. Yeah, wow, it's like the whole front end of it is all chewed up. Okay. I'll just take care of this later. So we've got the classic clear hook switch, and unfortunately there are a lot of names written in here. So I guess I better not show you these on camera. Let me see if this card possibly has a spare, and yes it does. On the back of it is this. So it comes with a total of 2 memory cards. And there's a tool saver number for Vartech Telecom. So the phone itself is a little bit dirty in places that accumulate a lot of dirt, and it's honestly, otherwise, really pretty clean. It is, of course, natively wall-mountable, like most trim lines are. On the handset, it's set to tone mode, has all these good buttons. It looks kind of like the Cortelco 8150 series. I wonder what... Oh, LDT. I thought this said lot for a second, and this actually says LDT, so I'm not sure what that means. We'll have to check it out. Alright. And we are getting the PBX dial tone. It's actually not a mechanical keypad. But it is backlit. And it sounds great. There's no volume control. So let's just see what LDT does. It just makes it beep. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so for storing a memory number, you have to press and hold store. I guess you have to press and hold it for the entire time? Yeah, step 6 is release store. That's pretty unusual. Oh cool, it can actually store 20 numbers. Alright. So let's see what... Whoops. That's not good. Mine was getting stuck for a minute there. Sounds fine now, though. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty simple and easy to use. There we go. So this is the reset button, which can also function as a flash button. Alright. And I'm actually going to record a testing message on this one in a minute after I check out the Princess phone, because I currently have my testing answering machine unplugged. I forgot to plug it in earlier, so we are going to just unplug this one for now as well. And go ahead and check out the Princess phone. Looks like it was used in area code 609. And it's got these classic, very highly cupped buttons. The newer Cortelco phones have buttons that are kind of cupped, but not as good as these, and so these just feel much better to dial. And that keypad feels really good. They go way down in when you press them. Alright. Hopefully this will go in there. Okay. There's no volume control on it. In the place where my Cortelco phones with this receiver have the volume control, it just says... Oh, you can't even read it. That's because it's upside down. Okay, please focus, camera. There we go. Okay. It says Bell System property, not for sale. Well, I actually just bought it. It also says Western Electric, which is really cool. Western Electric is probably the best phone manufacturer of all time. It's so good to actually have a phone from them. So let's go ahead and call up the... I thought I pressed 9. Okay. Let's call up the sound quality testing line. It seems to not be answering. Maybe I better reset. There we go.
605-767-2676 is not in service. If you
Has perfect sound quality.
try or call again. Thank you. The number you have reached, 605-767.
So unfortunately there's like a nick here, and I think I saw one on the base somewhere. Maybe not. All in all, for being a phone that's this old, it's in really good condition. It's hardly even dirty. I'm honestly not sure what this is for, but I'm just not going to mess with it right now. And we've got the ringer low and high switch. And there's also this switch, but I don't know what this does. It's not volume control.
Is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording
So yeah, again, there's not much to this phone. It's just a good, simple phone. Very, very heavy. Even the receiver. And actually, that reminds me, the RadioShack phone also has a good weight to it. Not nearly as much as this one, but it's still pretty good. The receiver, unfortunately, doesn't have that much weight. Not like my vintage AT&T phones, but the base itself has enough that the cord doesn't really pull it across the table unless you're really starting to stretch it. And it has good sticky feet. Of course, the old Bell System phone has a cork pad underneath. And the cord feels a little bit sticky. I might need to try wiping that down. But other than that, it's in really, honestly, great condition. And, of course, for $3, I seriously can't complain about this phone. This one's also the same price. So, I'm going to pause the camera while I go ahead and plug in the testing answering machine, and then we can actually call up it and leave messages from all of these phones, and then also test call the phones. Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on at this point, because I went ahead and tested out to see if I could make it ring. Maybe that's what this switch back here is for. But I can't get the PBX to make this one ring. Maybe it also just doesn't like the PBX's ring frequency. I think it is different from 20 Hz, which is what this one was designed for. No, it just doesn't want to ring. Now, I can pick it up. Okay. It almost sounds like it might actually be a carbon microphone, which is exactly what I was hoping for. So I'll just have to leave a testing message. But that is awesome. I really hope that's a carbon microphone. That would be really cool. Okay, so it doesn't really want to ring, but it did actually test it out earlier at my grandmother's apartment. And actually not the same one who gave me the weather radio, just so you know. But, over there, it did ring, so I know it at least works. And it has the classic single gong ringtone. So let's try plugging in this one. And the ringer is currently off, so let's just see what that does. And now it's on. Yep, it might just be that it's the wrong frequency. So I think what I'm going to do is plug this into a different phone line. Actually, that's going to take too long to do on camera, so I'll be right back. Okay, and with this setup, I should be able to also, I'm going to also be able to ring up the Princess phone. Unfortunately, the Panasonic one is still not ready. But, let's see here. Yep, it's working, so I think it's memory 1. Yep. And I should be able to flash and do ringback. And at this point, you won't hear any of my other phones because they're all plugged into the PBX. If this will work. Nope. Okay. Let me try the U.S. Naval Observatory Master Clock instead. No, they're not working either. Alright, this one doesn't give long enough of a recording. But at least it should work, hopefully. So, or I meant it doesn't give as long as I would like for the recording. Okay, this is weird. That's also not working. I have no idea what's going on right now. Okay, it's ringing. There we go. Alright, now it should ring. Great. So with it off, it doesn't ring at all. Okay. Now let's plug this into the Princess phone. Yeah, that's not really good. I actually didn't notice that when I was going to buy it, or getting ready to buy it. Probably what I should just do is plug a cord into here that has a jack on the other end of it. But anyway. Wait a second, I didn't hear it dialing. Did a weird thing where I pressed the button and then it actually just cut out the sound without playing the actual touch tone. And now it's doing that thing where it rang, but it's staying silent. Let's see if flash works. It does. All right. Oh, it just disconnected. Okay. Okay, it's doing that thing again, but it'll at least ring on low this time. Which doesn't seem to be making much of a difference. Let's see if this makes a difference. Nope. Okay. Now I'm going to plug this into the PBX again and leave a testing message from each of these two phones.
2 new messages and 17 old messages. This is testing message number 1. I'm recording this from the Western Electric Bell System Princess phone in red. And I love the amount of side tone on this phone. It sounds really good. So, yeah, this is basically a carbon microphone, and they pretty much don't capture background noise. So what I'm going to do to figure out exactly how that works is, or I mean how well that works, is turn on a weather radio about a yard away from me. And it's playing now. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's on KX-TG2343F Atlanta. Currently they're actually on the air, which is rare right now, today. And pretty much ever since Wednesday or Tuesday, today's Thursday. Then here I'm going to hold it up to the speaker.
It's 91. Wind variable at 7 gusting to 17. At Rome, it was sunny.
Alright. Goodbye. Alright, this is testing message number 2, recorded from the RadioShack 43-582 trimline telephone with an actual bell ringer. And unlike most trimlines, this has 2 different bells, 2 different pitches. And I would say that I like that better, but this one has a bit more of a cheesy sound to it, like they ring faster. My Cortelco 2500 rings more slowly with 2 different bells, and it sounds really, really nice, in my opinion. But honestly, any phone with a bell ringer is one of the best kinds of ringers you can have. So I guess there's not too much else to say about this phone. So in that case, goodbye. End of messages.
Alright. So yeah, it did sound like the red Princess phone had a carbon microphone, or has a carbon microphone. It actually doesn't have quite the amount of crackly sound that I have heard in some of Evan Doorbell's phone recordings. But it seems like, especially with the consonants, it definitely is a carbon microphone. And it also wasn't filtering out background noise quite as much as they seem to in the old recordings, but it's honestly fine with me. It sounds pretty good. And the RadioShack one sounded like it might have had a slight hum in the background, but it wasn't really noticeable. So all in all, I think those phones left great testing messages. Okay, let's move on to the Panasonic KX-TG2343. So first I'm just going to move these out of the way. And I have to move the camera so that we can get a better view of this phone since the cord is not long enough. It sounds like I'm pressing some buttons accidentally. Alright. So let's take a look at the features on this telephone. We've got message play, ringer setting, which I'm actually interested to see what these are. We've got ringer tone selection. Yep, let's turn that down. That's actually really loud. Okay, sounds like this is going to be their standard set of 7 that they used up until the DECT 6 era. Yep. These buttons actually feel a bit more plasticky. These are the regular rubber kind, but the dialing buttons and of course the volume buttons, they actually feel more like plastic. So that's kind of unusual. Date and time. So it was made around 2004 or 5. And it is currently 6:54. Voice enhancer, we can obviously adjust that on the phone itself. I mean, when we're on the phone. Caller IQ, which we're not going to activate, but let's just see what that does. Nope. Then initial setting. Number of rings is gonna be 7. Recording time. And sorry about the glare. Let me see if I can actually move this. Okay. Wow, this is old enough that it only has 2 digits for the remote code. Kind of unusual for Panasonics. Alright, it's got a decent range in there. Alright, that's it. I don't expect there to be anything in the phone book, and indeed there's not. And the same should go for the caller ID log if there is one. Now it does have caller ID, but it actually looks like it might not have a log right now. Maybe it's not able to show it when there are no calls. So let's try out this shoulder rest. I think it slides on like that. Yep, and it clips into place. So, whoa, sorry about that. Now, since I don't like to show my face on video, I won't be able to show you exactly how this looks, but it seems to work pretty well. It's not that comfortable for my neck, but it certainly is adequate. And I can still hold the phone just fine, like this, if I don't want to use the shoulder rest. And because of this nice foam padding, which is a very high friction foam, it does not at all want to slide off of my shoulder. So honestly, that's really cool. And it's really neat that the phone actually came with this from the factory. And just here's how it would look charging upside down. It's kind of ridiculous with all these things sticking up. Let's see if I can take this off. There we go. I always like it when they can charge both ways because honestly, it's handier to just pick it up like that. Versus like this, you have to twist your hand around it. So now, let's pick up the phone. And let's dial out to check the incoming audio first. Oh right, I need to plug in the correct phone line. Okay. Sounds pretty quiet. Let's actually start with it all the way down.
The number you have reached.
Okay, good. The testing or sound quality testing line's working now.
676 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in
Alright,
error,
that has decent volume
check
to
the
it.
number and try your call again. Thank you.
That's how the voice enhancer usually sounds.
The number you have reached.
I don't think it ever varied between models. There were just some that had it and some that didn't.
676 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you. The number you have reached. 2676 is not in service.
Okay. Line in use is still flashing on the base. And now it's just steadily on.
Not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you.
It's kind of surprisingly interference-free for a 2.4 gigahertz phone, at least in this house. It sounds great. Okay, lastly, flash.
776 is not in service.
Okay, so now I can go ahead and leave a testing message from this telephone. And I don't think there's a way to change channels, which is kind of weird, since this is not a DSS phone. But in that case, I will see about flashing. I can see if I can do that without cutting off the answering machine. And then if I do, I'll just call back and hang up again from the base. I mean, by putting it into the base.
3 new messages and 19 old messages. Okay, this is a testing message from the Panasonic KX-TG2343. Let's go into the other room so that we can hear exactly how interference-free it is. So, I'm not hearing anything currently. And now I'm back in the same room. So now let's go to speakerphone. Hopefully the speakerphone sounds better than the KX-TG, 5672 handset speakerphone, which I was just testing out yesterday. It's not that bad, but it's kind of average. And currently I'm holding it still to my ear. I probably should have already taken it away from my ear, but now it is. I'm holding it at about arm's length right now. And now I'm going to set this down on the floor. You can see how good the pickup is. So I'm now about 4 feet away, about 6 feet away, and then backing away, and about 8 feet away from the telephone now, and now I'm about 10 feet away, and now I'm going to... Okay, the testing answering machine cut me off since apparently the pickup on this phone is not quite that good. And I'm calling you back on speakerphone, so let's see what flashing does. Yep, unfortunately, flash does indeed cut off the machine. Let's check mute. Alright. Now I'm going to hang up into the base. End of messages.
Okay, so speakerphone pickup was kind of noisy, but not that bad, honestly. It certainly kept picking up from a large distance, even though it was very, very quiet. So now let's test out the base itself. First, here's the handset locator. Nice, it's got the red light on there. Okay.
No messages. No messages. Answer off. Answer set. Thursday, 7:06 p.m. Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep. We will return your call. To record greeting, press record again.
Alright, this is a testing greeting on the Panasonic KX-TG2343. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually record a memo on this telephone, so I'm just gradually bringing it closer to my mouth, and now it's right in front of the microphone.
Alright, this is a testing greeting on the Panasonic KX-TG2343. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually record a memo on this telephone, so I'm just gradually bringing it closer to my mouth, and now it's right in front of the microphone.
Okay, now I'm going to call this up from the testing phone and leave some messages. And I may as well record the ringing portion at least. Oh right, this is extension 1. So it's going to pick up in a long time from now. It's on 7 rings. And it is getting caller ID, only 2 digits. The bass, unfortunately, doesn't seem to have a ringtone. Or a ringer at all. Oh yeah, let me turn down call screening. Oh good, you can turn it off. Okay.
Alright, this is a testing greeting on the Panasonic KX-TG2343. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually record a memo on this telephone, so I'm just gradually bringing it closer to my mouth, and now it's right in front of the microphone.
Okay, I'm now leaving a testing message, and I'm going to call back and record another one off camera so that I can erase one at a time and repeat and skip messages. And I am on speakerphone on the infamous Panasonic KX-TG5672, but I'm just holding it right up next to my mouth so that hopefully the pickup is good. Goodbye. I don't expect it to release the line quickly because the PBX plays that beeping tone, but there it goes. It did release the line. Okay, let's actually listen to the messages from the handset.
3 new messages.
Okay, I'm now leaving a testing message, and I'm going to call back and record another one off camera so that I can
Wow.
one at a time and repeat and skip messages. And I am on speakerphone on the infamous Panasonic KX-TG5672, but I'm just holding it right up next to my mouth so that hopefully the pickup is good. Goodbye.
Thursday, 7.
Did you hear how good the quality was on that?
Testing message number 2. Testing 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 1000.
Skip.
Message 3. Somehow the phone started ringing again. It's like when I was calling it, the handset started playing the ringtone. Then on the second ring, it restarted. That's weird. But I was going to go ahead and say that this phone that I'm calling from also has a red ringing light on the headset. Although, being higher end apparently, you can change the color. It can do red, or yellow, or green, or multicolored. Whereas the KX-TG2343 can only do red. Goodbye.
Thursday, 7:10 p.m. End of final message.
Wow, okay, so yeah, it wasn't perfect, and it certainly wasn't true quality, but, or I mean, it wasn't fantastic, and it wasn't true quality, but honestly, that's really good, especially for a Panasonic system. So let's go to the bass.
No new messages. All message played back.
Which is, of course, much louder.
Okay, I'm now leaving a testing message, and I'm I'm going to call back and record another one off camera so that I can erase one at a time and repeat and skip messages. Testing message number 2. Okay, I now leave. Message 3. Somehow the phone started ringing again. It's like when I was calling it, the handset started playing the ringtone. Then on the second ring, it restarted. That's weird. But it's going to go ahead and say that this phone that I'm calling from also has a red ringing light on the headset. Although, being higher end apparently, you can change the color. It can do red, or yellow, or green, or multicolored. Whereas the KX-TG2343 can only do red. Goodbye.
Thursday, 7.
Testing. Message 3. Somehow.
To erase all? No messages.
Okay, so yeah, the recording quality was, like I said, not fantastic, and certainly not true quality, like the testing answering machine itself. But this is one of the best sounding Panasonic answering machines that I've heard. This is really cool. And yes, of course, the red ringing light is awesome on this phone. I'm just making fun of the fact that it's something other than yellow, and yet you cannot also go back to yellow like you can on the 5672 handset, which is the only Panasonic phone that I had before this one that had a ringing light that wasn't yellow. So there we go, that'll be it for this part of the video, and I think that covers everything in total. So there we have it. One of my best thrift store finds ever. Wow, it's so crowded on the camera. Alright. Thank you very much for watching.